That was the aggravating battery died. Um, yeah, like I was saying, the character was actually supposed to be Jermaine, and I got to thinking. The only thing that I did not want to do with my story was have it to be centered around Michael Jackson. I've written so many stories where Michael Jackson is a centrifugal character, and after 40 short stories, it's kind of old. So I wanted to give something of a media role to one of his brothers. And I guess nepotism is a bitch because I gave it to Marlon. But I thought that it was kind of great and unexpected to give that particular sort of role to Marlon because, frankly, in all my other stories, Marlon has always been the funny one. He's always been the comedic foil to anything serious going on. I mean, you could have a house burning, and Marlon would just come up, say something, and have you cracking up as the house is burning down behind you. And I was like, yeah, this is great. And I also wanted my story to appeal to the people in my Marlon Jackson fan club. Because, I mean, come on. For 40 years, the guy stood in the wings behind Michael Jackson, singing, ooh, singing a doo-wop in the back. And I was like, okay, I want to give him kind of like his little place to shine, even if it is just a fiction story. But I do respect him. I do respect him, and I wanted him to have a role. And it really is quite unexpected, and people like that. From what I've gathered, people like that. Seeing Marlon as kind of like, oh, he can do more than just crack jokes. He can, be kind of like the Rudolph Valentino, be the lover. And I really liked doing that and accomplishing that and saying, there is more to this guy than just humor. I mean, yeah, he is goofy, he is funny in the story, but when it calls for it, he can be serious, which I guess all people can be. Life's not a laughing matter. There are, serious instances and serious moments. And generally, when I write a story, I have little set, I guess you could say, personalities for each one, and each one, kind of falls into that. Like Jackie, he's the oldest. He's the fatherly type. Tito is like the quiet, strong, serious type. Jermaine is the arrogant, flirty one. Come on, I mean, we listen to Jermaine, he is kind of that way, but he has called for it because he is a fantastic bass guitar player and singer and, businessman sort of thing, so I don't really mind. It's more of a compliment to say he's, like, arrogant like that, because he can't be a businessman and be a wimp, can he? No. Then you have Marlon. Marlon's the funny one. Michael is the soft one, like the innocent one. Yeah, he's kind of innocent and timid and shy. To some extent in my stories, I play it up more than others. And Randy is the reckless one. He's the youngest. He's the loose cannon. He's the wild child. Basically, he's the wild child. And one thing that I incorporated into my story in the third chapter is I noticed in the Jackson's tour book that Randy, if you look very, very closely at his arm, he has a scar because in 1980 he wrapped his car around a telephone post. And I've always wanted to incorporate that particular feature on his body into the story, because he's never really apologized for it. It's always been there. On tour, he was shirtless half the victory tour. He had no qualms about showing it. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to use that in the story. Which, if people have read it, I actually have Randy being attacked by a woman being cut. It's completely not from a car wreck in my story. It is from this altercation with a former flame. And she cut him good. But yeah, the character that I'm not really worried about writing any of the other characters except for Michael's character. Like, in my mind, I have everybody painted out. So and so's going to do this, so and so's going to say this. With Michael, I kind of wanted him to be a foil to everything going on in the house because the entire situation in the house is completely adult. You know, it's pretty heavy duty stuff happening under that roof, and I wanted him to be the foil for it. So you have all this adult situation, and passionate, just oozing from everybody. Michael's kind of very childlike in a way, and I did that on purpose. His entire bedroom is Disney themed. Every morning, if you're not looking for him, he's somewhere looking at cartoons. He's building sandcastles on the beach behind the house, and I really wanted that. Yes, he is 31 years old, but yes, I want him to still have that sort of childlike quality to him, to kind of be the innocence marker in all of this really, really sexual, tension-filled, infused sort of situation. And I like that. I mean, Michael's gonna get his before the story's over. But in the meantime, I want that to be kind of like intriguing to Lonnie, and also hopefully intriguing to my readers, because I hope that everything I write is as good and as intriguing as I like to think it is, because I just keep using it as a launching pad, because at the point in time I am working on my debut novel. I want to be a writer. That is my life's goal, as in meeting Marlon Jackson and shaking his hand. My life's goal is to be a published writer. And incredibly, remarkably, my novel is absolutely, completely non-sexual. There will be no sex scenes. Nobody is taking their clothes off in my story. And, I just like to keep challenging myself, and why not use the Jacksons? I mean, come on. They're already interesting and cool anyway, so why not? And, I like them. I just don't think they get enough recognition as it is. And I want to kind of bring it to the forefront and point out, like, hey, these guys are more than just Michael's backup. These are great, interesting, multifaceted men. And I don't really think they've ever gotten the recognition I feel they deserve. Even back, in the 70s when they were in bell bottoms and afros, just starting out, and it was a group of Michael Jackson hadn't really become the one. And, I can't make the world stand up and notice, but if I can make one person notice and say, hey, these guys are cool, my job is done. So, thank you again for reading The Lockdown and getting a taste of what these guys are like, even if they do fight quite a bit. And there is more to the story. There are more segments to be written and put down and everything. Excuse me. And more is on the way. More is always on the way. And even after I'm done with The Lockdown, I actually have ideas for an entire new series after that. So my mind never stops working. That's the writer in me, and I'm proud of it. So thank you and happy reading, and don't forget to comment.